Hey guys, welcome back. It's Brendan Borman, and in today's 270 video, I'm going to be taking on Alistair Collins in the mobile game of 270. Both of us are playing as the candidate Colluding Trump, who is a retro candidate. He came out many years ago. He's a meme candidate. We've got the Russian buildings in the background. Of course, he might be colluding with Russia. That's the kind of the take on the candidate. He's very, very strong in those national groups, especially with big conservative, evangelical, and gun lobby. Pretty weak everywhere else, especially in the Democratic bonuses. So he is a one-way player. Whoever controls Texas has a huge advantage, of course, through manufacturing and in oil and gas. There's also Old South. Neither player really has strong swing states, definitely big penalties in African-American, high-tech, and town and gown. And so it's going to be a giant game of chicken in those national groups. I have decided to get that bigger bonus, the big conservative bonus, which is $100,000 per pip. My opponent has decided to take on the gun lobby and evangelical route. He will also have to defend both at the same time to keep that very, very small cash advantage that my opponent will have. It's easier for us to defend just one national group, and we are going to contest evangelicals on turn number 2. On turn number 3, we're going to contest the gun lobby bonus, which I'm expecting pressure in big conservative. This player does have the same icon next to his name that we do have, so he is a very skilled player. He did defend evangelicals by one single pip, and that will give us $635,000 on the next turn. Now, I'm going to show him that I am willing to defend big conservative by going up by 2 pips. And it looks like he's going to go for big conservative, but only by a 1 pip steal. So we were able to keep that bonus. He's also spending more money, so that makes it a pretty easy defend on the next turn. And then I'm going to go for gun lobby, but I'm going to do what he did, and I'm only going to go for a marginal steal. I'm not going to defend it because if he does, I do not want to have a clash. He does spend pretty big defending in evangelicals, and he does lock gun lobby. So strike 1 for us, strike 2 for him. We're spending a little bit more money that turn than he did. Fortunately for us, we still have a little bit of a cash reserve advantage with $545,000. Evangelical will be a crazy steal right here. I actually don't think that he would go for it, but I think he might go for a Texas play or a California play. So we are going to double pip Texas. We're also going to go up in our oil route of Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, and Louisiana. We have just a $200,000 spend from our opponent, and it's going to be in California. So we do have an uncontested route in oil and gas, which is a good thing. I do not want to overspend, so I'm just going to get my bonus, and that will leave me $71,000 in total money for the rest of the turn. However, I can open up into the other oil and gas states if my opponent attacks me in those oil states. However, he's going up $200,000 in California, and here comes the pressure in oil and gas. So we've got state chasing going back and forth. I have enough to double pip Texas at this current moment. I could just spend my oil and gas in Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, West Virginia, and Oklahoma. And even if he does go after me in another state like Colorado or New Mexico, I would not lose the bonus. I think probably Texas pressure is coming, and if that's the case, I'm going to want to have manufacturing to back it up. I'm also going to not leave big conservative unprotected, so I'm going to lock it, which will give me the $80,000 bonus the rest of the way. The danger here is if my opponent does low spend, which he does, so $20,000 is the only spending. That will leave me vulnerable in Texas in 2 turns. So he does come at me in Oklahoma, so that's okay. We're going to have oil for at least one more turn. That's $97,500. I have $350 elsewise, so I could go up and get the Old South and manufacturing, except I'm just about $1,500 away from getting both. Now, I could just go for manufacturing, but at this point, my opponent has $911,000. It's likely that he's going to attack me in Texas anyway. So why would I want to put more money into manufacturing when it's going to also disappear? That would just help me like in Michigan and help me in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. And so I think the better play is to pivot over to swing states. And so I'm going to go Michigan. It also has African-American. He did not come at me in Louisiana. There is the $400,000 spend in Texas. So, yes, he is playing like he probably should. We are going to get that Old South money. I don't think he's pressuring us enough. We can only go up to the 5th pip. He can actually spend 4 pips, which would go past us by 1 pip in Texas. He's only on the 2nd pip of California. We are going to pressure in California now. This is probably the only turn I'm going to feel comfortable putting some money in California because it's pretty much a 50% discount with using all of my oil and gas money. He's going to have oil the rest of the game, assuming that he goes up in Texas here. Now, there's a world where he could low spend, but we're going to be playing Colluding Trump from a negative position out of bonuses that do not play favorably to him. We're also going to have a pure cash disadvantage. So we have got our hand in the wrong spot here. Got our work cut out for us. Michigan, Florida, and Georgia should give us the swing state bonus. I also need to probably get into Arizona. I don't want to let my opponent go up in New York. I don't think he is going to go up this turn. I think he's probably another turn away from that point. So let's go ahead and end our turn. We're going to save $44,000 behind. And he did go up, get 28 EVs. Is that New York? It is New York. So we could have clashed. That might have helped us maybe in the long run. But actually, now that we know what he's going to do, we pretty much have a direct route. We're only in Colorado and New Mexico with the lead that he is in. I'm going to go up in Pennsylvania, up in Illinois, and Arizona, as well as South Carolina, and try to get that African-American bonus. It is a $100,000 bonus, but we are going to have a penalty. Evangelicals is pretty far gone, so there's really no reason in chasing that. I could go in New York, which is, I don't know. I'm going to do it. So we're going to New York because I can also force him to overspend there. We're going to have our African-American money. He'll have high-tech and Latino and export all working there. He probably will eventually get town and gown. Illinois is not a state that is detrimental to me. Now, I don't want him to get it cheap, so I'm going to double pip Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Illinois. I think it's likely he either locks Illinois this turn or spreads out in manufacturing in low spends. Surprisingly, he has not locked Colorado or New Mexico. We're also going to open up in Tennessee just to kind of block his manufacturing, but also expand in African-American. We are only at 4 bonuses. We don't really have many paths forward to other bonuses. It's really pivoting toward the EVs. But the problem is there are not very many states locked in, so we are not really that close to a ballot. We are at a severe possibility of losing this game, especially if things do not change. We need a big clash in our favor. We need him to go for, let's say, North Carolina and get blocked. That way we can maybe have a potential California steal in a turn or two. We're going to save $470,000. These steals have to look legitimate. He is going to go ahead and defend California. There is a Michigan steal with an Illinois lock that will guarantee him manufacturing the rest of the game. He's also going in Ohio. He does have that export bonus, of course. It is only $30,000, but he can put that in states like Oregon and Washington. He has control of the big 3, New York, California, and Texas. He has 2 national groups in the Republican stronghold when I only have 1. Is there a way I can pull this out? I have just over $1 million. I have to keep my pure cash advantage. I can't really overspend in swing states or in African American because I need to defend Florida. when the time comes. Those are going to be huge EVs. I'm also going to expand in the swing states, however, by going up in Iowa, Nevada, and Wisconsin, in New Hampshire, because if I do lose a Pennsylvania, I do want to still keep that swing state bonus. Every bonus is going to be critical for me. I pretty much have one huge mega move that I can make, and if I guess wrong, I'm going to lose. So I'm going to wait. I'm not going to make my move on this turn. He's going to continue to defend. We have $760,000 in spending for my opponent compared to just $155,000 for me. There's $300,000 in the state of New York and $200,000 in both Texas and in California. So he did a lot of defending that turn. We really don't have the means to get a ballot, and even though a ballot would be advantageous for us, I don't want to lock too many states right now because he could just spread out and overtake us. He already has 188 EVs to just our 219 EVs. Now, we could double pip every state and go for a ballot, but that would cost a lot of money. I think I'm just going to single pip every single state and see how much money that I have left over. I could go for a ballot by locking a state like Colorado, New Mexico, but eventually you would think that Donald Trump is going to take it. So instead, I'm just going to go up to the 7th pip and 8th pip of Colorado and New Mexico, respectively. I want him to basically, if he has to go for those states in the future turns, to waste all of his oil and Latino money. That way I could focus my EVs in those states. I probably would also guarantee by me keeping Florida. He did not go for Colorado or New Mexico, especially Colorado. There's the Florida pressure. He did go for Georgia, but we were able to defend. So far, so good. We're really walking a tight margin here. Look at all of that red. Of course, that's going to happen. We have 2 red opponents. It is turn number 17. New York is gone. Texas is gone. California is likely gone unless this game goes another 3 or 4 turns. I'm going to spend my swing state money in Iowa and New Hampshire as well as Nevada. I'm going to 1 pip Ohio just to try to get a quick lead. I don't think I'm going to go up much else. You know, there are some opponents here that would maybe defend Pennsylvania because he has manufacturing. That's like the obvious state to maybe take away some 19 EVs. But I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to save that $594,000 just because I'll have more information on the ballot. Maybe there's a state that he doesn't go into. And then I can, use those funds more efficiently because I'm not having to guess where he's going to go or by going to the 2nd pip now. And so that's really maybe one area where I've evolved over the course of being a 270 player. I really live to fight another day versus trying to live and die by predicting what my opponent's going to do. I do think there's a time and a place when you need to be predictive and take chances, but not when you're playing as Colluding Trump and you don't have Texas or California or New York and you don't have any of the national groups. Now, surprisingly, I still have a pretty decent chance at winning this game. I'm going to go to the 4th pip of Minnesota, the 3rd pip of Missouri. I'm going to hedge a little bit. I just made a video where I talked about ending on the same pip on the ballot round. Can be a blessing and a curse because that's probably the most efficient way to do it because that's the way other players are going to do it. But I just can't see myself giving away too many of these mid-level EV states. So I'm going to go up extra in New Jersey, extra in Washington. I might single pip him in a couple states, somewhere like Maine with 4 EVs or Montana where he does not have a state group bonus. But, some of these other states like DC or Nebraska or Oregon, I'm just going to let him have those and hope that he overspends. My last move is going to double pip into Utah. And let's see how it goes. I do expect him to flip all of the oil and gas states. So that's a pretty healthy margin right there. We're going to have to be successful in some of our steals. It's hard to play so much defense when you're behind. So hopefully our offense can counteract some of his offense. Our main steal is successful. We have a big EV block. Here we go in Minnesota, Missouri. We do lose those 10 EVs. We did spend quite a bit of money there. North Dakota will also flip. We're down to 281. We need New Jersey. Here it comes. We get it by 2 pips. That's 14 EVs back in our corner. Pennsylvania is nothing, just defense. Rhode Island flips over to our opponent. We have a 6 EV clash in Utah. Washington flips to us. That all but assures us the White House. Wisconsin stays with us. Wyoming falls to the other Donald Trump. But with 295 electorals, we are able to hold off Alistair Collins. Good game, my man. Even though you pretty much outmaneuvered us in the early part of the game, I was able to finagle myself through the middle stretches, pick my spots, and just secure enough EVs to win the White House. What a game. If you enjoyed 270 content, like and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.